Let's turn off this music. And we are back. Okay, back to our LangFlow Agentic AI system production deployment. All right. So, what did we do? We did Pi testing already. We did the backend testing. We just finished React testing with Playwright. So now observability. All right. Observability. So observability is essential, I think, when building production systems. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Okay, so let's see what we have here. All right, so this is when we left off. And when it comes to our endpoint, this is the Prometheus endpoint that gets exposed that we can scrape and push to our Prometheus database, and then create dashboards and alerts on top of this data. Now, this is well, it's not enough data. You know what? Let's run the front end as well. I just want to see if there's more data here that's getting collected on the back end than just the basic Python stuff. Okay, let's kick off. Let's hide this. So I'm running the backend and the debug, and let's kick off the terminal, and let's run the front end from the terminal. I'm just gonna, do some basic stuff at the front end and see if we get a little bit better observability data from the backend. In the meantime, what I was doing here, all right, I was looking at the configuration. So what do we have here? Okay, so we're using OpenTelemetry. That is what we are using here. Let's move things to the side. Let's just clean up our workspace here. Oh, nice. This is what I just saw on my Twitter. A Cursor updated their tool. And you know what? We might give it a go because I'm so upset. Oh, look at these error fixes. Oh, crap. Because it's so buggy, Cursor, that I went back to VS Code because it was just such a bad experience. But look at this. They're quality of life improvements. Yes, good. That's what I need. I need quality of life improvements because right now I was extremely angry using Cursor. It was really, really bad experience. All right. We might actually switch to Cursor in a minute just to see if they're, if the updates are actually as they suggest. All right. Moving on. So what was I doing here? Right. At least the breakpoints are working, which doesn't work in Cursor. Just let this go. Wow, I have breakpoints over the place. Damn it. What the hell? Chrome is not liking my Apple integration with iCloud Pass. Dude, why? All right. Apple has to work on that. Where's my phone? Well, at least we can see the single sign-on is working. That's great. So all the updates are good. Okay, so here, I'm just going to click around. Whatever, just go to multiple, create a new flow, simple agent. Yeah, okay. So the idea here is now, if you come back here, we should see more. We should have more information here. Is this even running? the hell is happening here? This thing hasn't changed. Some metrics. All right, let me look at the. Okay. Let me look at the endpoint here just to see if we're grabbing the right endpoint. What is the endpoint? Where's the endpoint? Where's the route that is configured? So we just start the server, but okay, the route is okay. All right, so that is that. Why isn't it refreshing? What the hell's happening? Oh, it is refreshing. I can see it. Just minor changes. Okay, so that's not good enough for observability, right? I think we can all agree that's not a good observability at all, especially for production system. So I was hoping they would catch the routes and give us a little bit of observability on the routes. All right, let's do this. So first things first, what is the system they're using? They're using OpenTelemetry. And so let's just have a look at here. Yes. All right, so OpenTelemetry is the system they're using. So OpenTelemetry is an observability framework. So it just provides libraries for different APIs, SDKs for kind of generating, collecting, exporting telemetry data, right? Observability, basically. Also does tracing as well, metrics, logs, all that stuff. And the idea here is that's supposed to be standardized, right? That's the idea. So then we don't have individual, whatever, companies creating their own stack. Now, let's see what is actually included in our POM file, TOML file, actually. Let's see what we actually have. Doing a little bit of research first, just to figure out what's happening here. So let's see what we have for observability. What? Nothing? What you talking about, Willis? Oh, it's right here. Okay. No, it's Open Inference. Where's Open Telemetry? Open Search, Open AI. What? Did I just imagine these packages? Where's this package coming from? Open Telemetry. Yeah, so what? The bloody hell, where do they define these? Well, let's do a search for it. Oh, it's in the base project. Okay. All right, so it's not the root project. All right, so we have API SDK exported to Prometheus, and we have instrumentation. So that's the one that should be active, the instrumentation of Fast API. So we can instrument it, meaning that we can collect the data from the Fast API server running. But I just don't see that data at all. I mean, all I see is just a Python collector, the garbage collection here happening. So unless it's on a different route, let's check that. Let's see what the hell is bloody hell is happening here. So Fast API instrumentation. So we do have the instrumenter here. We passed the app. So, and that's the Fast API app, I'm assuming. Yeah. So that is all good configuration. No issues here. Okay, so we did enable Prometheus. So it started the server. Okay, and then we just instrumented here. So it looks like it's doing the right thing, and yet there's no output for fast API instrument. Let me have a look at this here. If there's something required here to be enabled. Yeah, that's the middleware. So that's right. That's correct. So all this stuff is correct, and I'm looking for these these kind of metrics on HTTP on the RESTful request on the routes, which all that stuff here. So we want all this, but it doesn't seem to be configured, or it's not used. Like what's happening here? What's happening was boy, and all right. Let's get some more information about the endpoints here. Oh, the routes. Health check route, blah, 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 log route. Where is the Prometheus route? That's what I want to know. Or the metrics. This might be just a simple configuration issue. No slash metrics here. What's this? So did you have it in their Docker Compose deployment? So on this port slash metrics, that's what they have. Okay. Right. So just put a prefix there for this one. Okay. Okay. What about Prometheus? Do they have a? Let me see here. Okay. So they have two jobs here, and they hit the endpoint here and there's another endpoint here for Flower. I guess for Celery deployment. Is that what the case is? Is that for Celery? Broker here. What is the Celery front end is here? And there's a Flower here. Okay, so I guess this is your Celery deployment. So they have workers here. We'll get back to this. We'll deploy Celery and Redis in Kubernetes after we have it running with the kind of vanilla deployment. That's just, to me, that's just an enhancement. Okay, so it looks like they're all ready for the endpoint here. So the only thing it's missing is actually more data in this endpoint. Okay, so that's all they have here. Okay. So first thing, what I wanted to do is we created a fast API dashboard in Grafana. I call it Grafana. Let's just log in. And what happened to my Grafana? Oh, what the bloody hell is happening? Let's see. Is it Keycloak again? Because I'm having a bit issues with Keycloak and the Java runtime there. It is a pig. Now we know when people switch it to Go. Let me just have a peek here. Okay, so that one's running fine. Let's look at Grafana. Where's my Grafana? We put that in observability namespace. That's how we deploy things. We like to segregate things into logical units. Oh, Grafana is down. Oh, what happened, Grafana? Oh, it's in a crash loop. Let's have a peek at this because somebody's going to be upset about this in a minute. Secret client ID. Oh, this is injection of dynamic secrets. Didn't go so well. Right. So we have we secure Grafana as well, as we should, and we inject secrets through Vault. and this is dev. So in dev, we have we do this like once a day, so the timing might be off. Yeah, let's look at this thing initializes. You can see when it starts, it has the init container here from Vault that should inject all the credentials. Besides Linkerd, and there's the Vault agent here that deals with manages the credentials as a sidecar container. So this is a bit more complicated deployment with service mesh and Vault on Grafana than most people do. I think to me, this is should be your default state. You should manage your credentials with something like Vault, and you should have a service mesh, right? So to me, that's a default state, right? Anyways, let's hope that this deploys quickly, because I want to look at the dashboard and see what I have there. And when I'm making changes to observability, I only make a change to observability I need to make. So when we talk about observability in general, which is a good place to start, you don't want to do everything, right? So it doesn't make sense to implement pretty much all the different observability aspects from the start. You want to basically follow a methodology, right? So, and we have two methodologies that we always kind of prescribe to our clients or for our own systems. So, which I have it in this long ass presentation, where I'm talking about, holy crap, this really got out of hand, this slide deck. still going. Okay. Anyways, so Prometheus, obviously, we follow these four different broad categories: tracing, metrics, logs, and exceptions. So, but when it comes to the actual methodology, when it comes to your service level indicators, your SLIs, and what to collect and how to collect them, we use what? Holy Jeebus, man. I did way too many slides here. Oh, I laugh at myself because it's hilarious. Oh, there we go. I think I found it. So there's three methodologies that we always kind of go after, prescribe to, or suggest. Sort of guiding principles when it comes to observability. The red they use in the four golden horsemen from Google SRE book. So we're going to start with just the basics. So red is usually what I start, and then I add a little bit of use, and then those combined give you a little bit of the four golden signals, right? They're all pretty much the same methodology, slightly different, small differences here. Okay. Where's my Grafana? All right, Grafana's back up. So let's go. Right. So for the SLI, basic SLIs, service level indicators, we need just to know sort of not just the utilization is good for your CPU, obviously. So you need that basic stuff, and the saturation. This is for your computational resources. So this is where I would go to get computation resources. Now, the rate and the errors, this is where I'm looking at the requests. On the routes. So the RESTful API endpoint, the part of the server where we do process the requests. So this is where I want to, also the duration. So I'm going to do all of these three, and I'm going to do some of utilization and saturation for just Kubernetes sake, to look at the runtime environment, the Python, runtime environment, and combining that, just going to give you the four signals, right? Four golden signals. So, just going by the book, I suppose, by Google SRE book, right? Moving on, let me see what I have in Grafana, because I forget what we did there. for the fast. So we didn't use the fast API from the dashboards. We created our own. I always like to create my own dashboards just because I'm very, well, pedantic when it comes to my dashboards, let's put it this way. So here, there's no data on that specific tool, but this is the dashboard, right? So what I have here. So yeah, so I'm gonna keep it. So this is all about requests, right? So this is like the server side, the web part, or the RESTful API part of Fast API. So I'm gonna keep the same properties. Now, what about my Python stuff? Where's the Python? So for Python, where's my Python dashboard? Do we have a separate one? I'm blanking out right now. Do we do a Python dashboard? We should. At least I think I did. Okay. If not, I'll just I'll go back and update this dashboard then. Okay. Yeah, I don't see a Python dashboard. Okay. Anyways, this is the important part for to know what's happening with the requests and the processing of the server. So let's do that. So I'm going to look at that dashboard in a second, but I like what we have here. Okay. Let's do this. All right. Going back. So Fast API instrumenter from OpenTelemetry. We need to get this working correctly. And we have to, yeah, so this is not going well. Okay. First thing I want to do is open up my other project where I have Fast API so I can rip off the parameters names or the metric names that we used for any other project, just to be consistent. So, which is in where I put these, which project? So many projects. I think an assistant. Yeah, here. Okay, so let me see what I did here. Nope. All right, go away. All right, so let's see. We have, where's my main class here? Okay, metrics here, perfect. Right. So in this project, we used a different system, and we just used the Prometheus middleware. Okay. And did I create this middleware? No, that's just from that's a client. All right, we can. I don't use the same middleware because OpenTelemetry has its own middleware there. But what I can do is I can see if I can rip off some of these metrics here, the metrics names. And these are standard. I mean, by now in Kubernetes, we used kind of the same naming conventions for everything. You can see, there you go. There's your prefix here, and then request duration per seconds, request in progress. So these are all things that are common now these days. So there's a sort of, quote unquote standard when it comes to metrics names. All right, so let me put it to the side so I have it as reference. All right, so this is where we want to add it. All right, Sentry looks good. So this is the good stuff. That's good. Sentry, I like Sentry. The best ever. Sentry is tremendous. All right, so these exceptions don't look good. I'm not liking the exception handler, and I'm not liking the instrumenting here. So we've got to change both of these things so get better feedback. So also you can create some alerts. So I like to have an alert on some of these requests. When they go below a certain threshold, we want to get a Slack message. We get these Slack messages continuously in our channels here. Even right now, just getting warnings right now. There you go, about the Grafana deployment. So I want to get some like these are just warnings. We usually ignore the warnings, but for critical stuff, these are important things. So we want to be able to push them here as well to our Slack channel so people can actually see what's happening and respond accordingly. I see more people calling me. All right. So again, there's not much here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check first the docs for PyPy and see if we can just maybe result this with a configuration, a parameter or something. So right, so this thing beginning the open telemetry instrumentation fast API. Okay, so the versions are much higher. Might bump up the versions just since we're already here. Where's the Prometheus one in the UV? Here. Oh, sorry, Prometheus, the fast API one. So it is here. Okay. All right, let's have a look at this one. Let's see what examples they have. Maybe we can just rip off an example quickly. I need a fast API example. Okay. All right, so this is Flask. We don't care about Flask. People should not be using Flask for production systems. And if you don't know why, it says so in their own documentation. Don't use it for production systems. There's some obvious reasons for that we can go into if people ask a question. I can answer a question, but don't use Flask for production systems. It's not meant for that. These are dev servers, right? What about this one here? Nope, don't care about that one. Can I have like a good example here for open fast API? What's happening, bro? Okay, I want this to be done automatically for me. I don't want to do this manually right now. Hold on. Just search for fast API. There's no examples for fast API. Hold on. Do they even support fast API? That's a better question here. So I don't see this guy doing it as the documentation suggests. So what is saying? The span is not working? Oh boy. We might have to just do it without open telemetry. because we know that works. This guy requires a fix for this span ID. Now, we don't care about tracing span ID right now. We're not doing tracing. So we're not going to use Jagger. We're just talking about right now metrics and logs, really. Really just metrics right now. So let's ignore this issue. Apparently it's broken. Okay. Just opened. That's why I said I'm not a big fan of open telemetry yet. It's been many years and they still haven't fixed their stuff. So yeah, okay. But I'm looking at the setup here. He runs this right after server init and just the instrumentation done. So the same thing happens in LangFlow, but I don't see the outputs. That's the problem here. Let's go say I put tracer. Okay. All right. So let's ignore the tracing. So at least we know that's broken. So FYI. So that's broken. Okay. Let's see if they have documentation here for or example for fast API, just basic setup. All right, this is a garbage search. Okay, let me see if I can go to the website. All right, let's see what the hell is happening here. All right, so you define the server, boom, Bob's uncle, and then just pass the server into your instrument app, and it should work. And what else do we need to have here? Anything else? We can exclude some of the URLs. Sure, we should probably exclude the health check. We don't care about the health check. But the rest, what? Request response hooks. Do we need the hooks? Maybe that's the reason. All right, this is for the span. So this is for tracing. So we don't need that yet. We're not going to talk about or do tracing. Is the instrumenter only for tracing? Oh, I'm getting confused here. Capturing the header, sentencing. Is this only? Hold on. Do I have this backwards? Is this only for tracing? Instrumenting should be request saved by application. Okay, yeah, that's what I need. I need auto instrumentation, and yeah. So what the bloody hell is happening here? Okay, now let's put a breakpoint there. We are running this in a breakpoint. Why not put a breakpoint and see what's happening? So let's see. When you instrument the app, here. So we do have a tracer and we have a get meter. So it's for both. And we do have this middleware. So let me look at the middleware. So I want this to be executing, because usually that's how we do it without open telemetry as well. We just create a middleware. And then we do all the metrics there. But this doesn't look nice at all. Tracer meter, sure. Okay. Put a breakpoint here. Yeah. I want to put a breakpoint here. Right, so this should wrap all the requests that we're doing in this, in Fast API, like a decorator in Python, and just kind of, you see they start the timer, they wrap the request, they end at the end, and they count everything, right? So that's what I want this to be executing. but it doesn't seem to be executing that. So yeah. Okay. So all this code is good, but I still don't see it. So I wonder if the Prometheus exporter is actually set up correctly. So I do see they have a Prometheus exporter here. So let's see if is it exporter? Where's Prometheus exporter? I did see one, didn't I? Where's the Prometheus exporter? Yeah, here. So Prometheus exporter. So let's have a look at this one here. Let's see if it's exporting correctly to, let's go into PyPy. Documentation's broken. Oh boy, why are you punking me? Dude, seriously, let's go to homepage. All right, it looks good. It should be exporting the things we need. So let's just see if there's a configuration issue with this exporter here. Let me see if I can find this reference to this one here somewhere. Okay, so it's in our TOML file, so it's included. Sure. Let's see if it's used anywhere. What's the import? The import is just Prometheus, right? Oh, they start the server here. Okay. What can we do here? Let me see in the main file. Where's the exporter in the main file here? Let's see if there's an exporter here. Nope. Come on. Are they even using it somewhere? Here. Okay. Service, telemetry, open. Okay, here. So this is the service here. Let's see what's happening here. Why is this not giving me more information? Looks like they have some basic stuff already here. What does it say? The measure value, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's all good. It's nice that they are going to have consistent naming on the LangFlow. That's nice. We can look for these metrics. Actually, since it's already running in our cluster, what we can do is we can go to Grafana. Here's my Grafana and do a search for these metrics in Explorer window. Let's see. Let's do code. There's nothing. Nothing. All right. Let's look at the browser then. LangFlow. No. We do have the scraper configured for the deployment, and I still don't see any metrics here. LangFlow. No. It's not a case interface. Okay, so yeah, Bobcats. So this is not. It's not working. All right. Okay, there's a metrics class. Let's see why we don't see these metrics in our scraper. Let's put a breakpoint here as well. Not here. Let's put it here. So it looks like everything is here. It's just not enabled. I mean, I can see the Prometheus metrics reader is here too, and it has all the stuff we need, but it's just not enabled. So it looks to me like it's a configuration issue somewhere. There we go, create metrics. We do create the metrics we need. And let's look at some of these names. Let's look at this one here. What is this one here? Fix me. Okay. You're gonna love when you see this in code. Fix me. Okay. Yeah. Fix me. Dude, fix me more. Okay. Too many fix me's. All right, so it's all good. I don't see any problems here besides the fix me stuff, so that's good. Now, where are my metrics? How come they're not showing up? All right, so what's happening here? So we have the OpenTelemetry class here. We have the metrics class. And we have a couple wrappers here. Now, why isn't this used anywhere? So this is your OpenTelemetry.py. Let's see if it's actually used anywhere. So this would be .telemetry. All right. All I do is check the Prometheus enable flag, which is enabled. At least I think it is. Let me look at the debug quickly. Where's my debug launch? Oh, it's, wait, does it have to be enabled as well? Because the port is, hold on. These guys, you guys, seriously, where's that? What was this code? Oh, bloody hell, what was that code? Piece of code. Here. It has to be enabled as well. Oh my God. Okay, so it's not just going back. So I don't know if it's actually reading my env file, but let's just assume it's not. So I'm also going to add here LangFlow Prometheus. Well, this thing here, Prometheus enabled. Okay, this is true. All right, let's stop this debugger. All right, let's get it going again. If that's the fix, it's great. Then we don't have to do much. We just have to validate that these have the correct metrics and add maybe some more. There we go. I can see the metrics getting hit now. Okay, so sweet. At least the breakpoints are working. Yep. All right. At least the code is being executed. The breakpoints are getting hit. That's nice. That's nice. All right, let's see now if we have better results now. I'm going to give it a second to start. Also, I'm going to start. Oh, more. Let's remove these breakpoints. I'm going to restart. No, usually from that just goes down when you start the backend. One loses connection, but it was okay this time. Okay. All right. So we have Swagger working. Let's see what's happening here. That's it. There's no more metrics. Oh yeah. At this point, I get the feeling that it's not enabled. Let me hit some endpoints here. I'm going crazy here, or this is not properly configured. I'm still getting just the Python stuff. Where's all the fast API stuff? So I know it's collecting it, but I guess the exporter is not working. Let's have a look at the properties again. Maybe there's another property that goes out of here just to make this active. So what I'm going to do here, this didn't do anything, I suppose. Let's look at it for this property. False. It's a good question. Should it be uppercase or lowercase, man? A lot of times, the Python lids convert it for you automatically because they support both. Now, as a string, if you don't convert it to a Boolean, then it's going to break, but it's not going to give me an error, right? It's just going to ignore this. Anyways, that's all I see. Enabled Prometheus port. That's all they have. The Prometheus port is, it's 9090. Yeah, these guys are getting annoying, man. So they have everything configured, or they're everything in the project, but yet there's nothing going out to the exporter. So I guess I have to debug the exporter here, the middleware. Oh boy.
Do any of the office ladies know you? Oh, no, absolutely not. You should never saw that I used to go to. How?
That's just a bit annoying.
I've never spoken to the office ladies at all. Like, seeing the teachers at your.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think we have all the information we need. So it has to be enabled because it's running on the server, right? So, and this server is the Prometheus port. So, and it's working when I'm refreshing it. So just to kind of make sure I'm not going crazy here, I am getting some of the Prometheus data here, but not the stuff I need, not the stuff based on requests. Let me click around, see if we can generate some requests here. Still nothing. It's a bit annoying. All right. So I want to see where, so the basic configuration is here, but I don't see where they use the telemetry service. So maybe that's the problem here. Let's see what that is used. So on the services, they have a telemetry service here somewhere. Here.
We're not doing the information right now, we're just looking at the line to the card. It's going to be saying.
No documentation as usual. Okay, let's look at the service. So the factory, so the manager, so using a manager and a factory setup. So it should kick off and start the telemetry service, which it did because it went to the breakpoints. Or went through the breakpoints. Now the next thing is it should execute this service. And then here, let's see if there's any parameters required. Well, this is for the telemetry here. And I wonder if that is the problem here. So there's the open telemetry here. This is our stuff for Prometheus. So it has to be enabled, sure. We have some tracking information, don't care about that. We disable that usually. And we do start a worker here. So it's all good stuff. What else do we have in here? Yeah, we're not going to be sending this telemetry. We just need a Prometheus exporter. So that is all good. Okay. Is the work here kicking off? No, that's going to telemetry. Right? Okay, so it's not that. So that's fine. Oh, boy. Right. So we really care about just this part here, open telemetry. Okay. So let's just have a look at this one here. So there's Prometheus enable. We have the enable flag set. Where is this used? Let's have a look. Oh, Coco, it's okay. Hey. Hey. Well, go look outside. Go. Go look outside. All right. So the constructor, we set it. All right. You know what? I'm going to put a breakpoint here just to see if we can step to it and see what's happening here. Because I want this to be executing for every request, at least the metrics wrapping every request. Okay, so let's just do that. All right, let's stop this again and I'll just restart it. Hello? VS Code, you're making me look bad in front of Cursor, seriously. We know Cursor sucks, man, but you know, you don't have to take cues from Cursor. The good old days of IntelliJ, right? Or Eclipse. Anyway, so I want to see if this is configured correctly. So when we enable Prometheus, it should go in here, and then we can see if the configuration is done correctly. All right, sweet. All right, so enable true, yeah. Step over this. Registry metrics, sure. We register all these metrics. Only those two. There should be more. What about my request metrics? So that's all that's in this one. These are the custom metrics. Okay. Hopefully they have the default one for the request, because that would be really sad if they don't. Okay. So we have some custom metrics. Meter. This is not provided. Yeah. should not be provided. Let's see if okay. I'm okay with that. So we do have a meter. Oh, a system to collect the metrics. And you want, let's look at the registry again. I'm just going to dump this registry here and see if we can see all the metrics that are part of this. Where's my debug window? Where's my debug window? Oh, hello. Oh, here in debug console. All right. So we just have 2 custom metrics? That just sucks, man. Where's all the other metrics, man? Hopefully going to be added a little bit below, man, but that just, okay. All right, there we go. So we're getting the actual metrics that we care about here. Step through this. All right, sweet. Okay, let's inspect the OpenTelemetry with Prometheus configuration. So self. Well, that's not impressive. There are not that many metrics here, man. What the hell? What's up, bro? Maybe that's the problem here. I only see those 2 custom metrics. I don't see any other metrics. Request and all that stuff. Measuring the response time, request time. Where's all that stuff? Is that's all they have here? That's just pretty sad, man. It looks like I'm gonna have to add all this stuff. I was really hoping for more, man. Jeebus. Nothing? All right, moving on, I guess. Right. So the tracer stuff and OpenTelemetry middleware, that gets a lot of metrics, but I need this one here. Right? Duration of the HTTP server request. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I care about. So let's see if they're adding this one here as well. So at the end, let me step to the end, and I can inspect it right at where I want to. Yeah, let's just go up to here somewhere. Let's run this. All right. So if I'm looking at the instrumenter here, which is, let's see. Yeah, that's what I want. That's literally what I want. HTTP server duration. So it is getting configured. So what's the problem? So these are added. Right, looks to me like a config issue. Let me see what I did in my other code base. We'll be doing use OpenTelemetry. So what is this? Okay, so we just used the middleware that came from Starlet Exporter. So we used the DAT exporter. So that exporter I liked because it had all the common sense defaults. And let me see. Okay, so it did aggregate all of them here. It created all the metrics, right? It maintained them in the metrics list here, or dictionary. All right. And then what happened? Right. So for every route, it applied these. Okay. So that's literally what I need, man. I don't want to change packages, but this open telemetry is annoying, and that's why usually I don't use it, because the other packages are a little more mature and easier to use. All right. And let's have a peek at here, the configuration here. So if you look at the hello world example that they have here, they just start the server, and that's it. They create the reader here, and Bob's your uncle, it's ready to go. So that's a fairly simple setup. There's the reader. Right, so LangFlow tried the same thing, a similar thing. And they added the custom collection, so they did that. And translate to Prometheus. Well, that's what I need to be called by the library by itself, so I don't have to call it. Right, they just add the port and they add the address here, okay. So we're doing the same thing in LangFlow, and yet we're getting different results. That is interesting. Documentation is broken. Oh man, this is development world, man. Let me see if I can get a different version of this documentation. Let's look at the exporters. Where's the Prometheus exporter? Where is the Prometheus exporter? It is the latest version, okay. We just have the Python here, but okay, great. So we have Python set up, okay, sure. But where the hell is the Prometheus exporter? This open census, open telemetry. Okay, maybe this one, OLTP exporters. Is it under OLTP right now? Did they repackage this right now in today's version? I'm sorry, the loop of open telemetry, because there's no need to use it if you just use the old Prometheus client by itself. I'm so annoyed right now. And look at the OLTP collectors. Where are all the freaking collectors? Oh my god, this is just so annoying. Where the hell is the Prometheus one, man? Seriously.
right? Okay, I'm looking down, and looking more down. Your friend is lactose intolerant.
Prometheus exporters. Okay, talk to me. What's happening here? It looks like there's been some changes here.
No, not yesterday. So like, and then our cards last year. And I was like, yeah, my friend. She's like, she was trying so hard not to explode. And she was just kind of like, oh, she took the wrong pieces by accident.
I want the OLTP exporter, not the OLTP receiver. Or I can use the Prometheus exporter. Okay. Right. So we did start the server. The only thing is we're not seeing much in the server. So I need to have OLTP exporter here. So what's happening here? Why did it make it so complicated, dude? Seriously, man. It was so simple. That's all. That's all they have here. Just configure your scraper job to hit the specific port. That's all, and you have your OLTP feature enabled writers. Oh my god. Oh, I hate OpenTelemetry so much. Make a DevOps job so hard. Why? And there's no reason why. Okay. Let me look at a project. Let me look at an example project they have because obviously something happened in this. There's been updates here, obviously, to Prometheus exporter, which are not working well in LangFlow because I'm not getting any freaking metrics here. 0 metrics except for these basic Python ones, which means something is working. We are exporting some data, but not the fast API stuff. Okay. Right. So let me have a peek here. Let me find a good example in our GitHub so I can rip it off and use it as a starting point and then go backwards because this is just annoying as heck. And yeah, we have no metrics here. So we deployed LangFlow with Prometheus exporter enabled. There's not even OpenTelemetry, right? There's nothing. Where about LangFlow? So you would assume they will have some metrics here. That's even metric names here. Something that would start with LangFlow, right? Because that's the name they're using. So actually, let's look at let's go by namespace. Let me compose something here. Let's go based on code. I'll build it here. Metrics. I don't want metrics. I want to see if there's anything in our namespace. What's the namespace? Namespace. Right. So namespace equal to the hell we call this. What's our namespace? I'm just going to use this as an example to see if there's any metrics being collected in our LangFlow deployment right now with Prometheus, because it is enable. So it's KubeVirt LangFlow. Okay, so that's our namespace. All right. And let me see what we have here. Just basic resources. Yep. Nothing exciting, just simple Kubernetes metrics, which we need. I'm looking more for, you know what, let's, instead of a namespace, let's also add the name of the pod, maybe. Maybe that'll be easier. So yeah, here. Let's limit this to this specific pod. Here, just manually update it here. So pod, because this is the backend. This is where the Prometheus metrics should be coming from. Let's see if we have any. No. You are the weakest link. No. Okay. All right. So unless we're doing something correctly, the default deployment of LangFlow with Prometheus enabled doesn't give you good feedback. We just get basic stuff we always get on CPU and memory utilization usage. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna go look at the Git example of implementation of Prometheus exporter with what you call it, open telemetry. And let's create a simple application and work backwards, because this has to be done today. All right, cool. So let's just go back. So going back on, I'm just going to leave this in a breakpoint. So based on their deployment that they had for Docker Compose, I'll use this as an example. So in this case, they deployed Prometheus and Grafana, and they enable the Prometheus metrics here. And they also have the Prometheus configuration to go after specific port, which is 9090, right? Which they set up on the Compose. And what we did for the Kubernetes as well. So we have the same configuration of Kubernetes in the Helm chart. Sure. Now, let's see if there's any other things they added here on their main container, just to verify that we have all the same properties here. So for the backend, they just defined the port as we did. Yeah, and then that env file here. I'm going to look at that in a second. So yeah, not much here. We have health, docs, and okay, so we have that. And I guess internally the Prometheus will scrape the endpoint 9090. Okay. All right, so that's all good. So it looks like they're assuming it's working. I'm assuming they run this test and it's running fine for them. Now for their configuration, they have what? For backend configuration, that's all they have. Just okay. What about post Prometheus? All right, not much here. Okay. All right. At least we know they tried deploying it. All right, moving on. Next thing to check. Checking the main configuration. So based on what we saw in the example, for Fast API, you need to set up the Prometheus metrics reader. Also the Fast API instrumenter as well. So you want to do those two things. So first, let's confirm they have that set up. So we have the Fast instrumenter already. And where's the reader? I guess the reader is coming from the service. So when the service starts, it starts reading. Okay, so let's open that one. So the doc says we need a Prometheus reader. Is right here. Okay, so we have the reader. So we have the two components that are required for this to work. All right, sweet. And did we actually configure this or use the existing one? Yeah, let me put it, so I have a breakpoint at stop. All right, let's step through this configuration first to see if we do have a reader, because that's a requirement. Once we do have a reader, what else do they say here? They need the meta provider, which is the Prometheus. So the metrics reader goes into the meta provider, which is, where's the metrics reader here? Where's the meta provider here? Meta or meter? Sorry, meter provider here. So that's good as well. Okay, so that's what they have in the docs. What else do they have in the docs? All right, so that's all. I also see that they're trying to add the middleware to the metrics endpoint, which we also need. And the endpoint should be just get metrics as text. Okay, let me find that. So we need to call get metrics as text to actually get the Python, the Prometheus text. So where is this called? So this is the one we need to look at. Well, where is it? Get metrics as text. Where is this called? So this is supposed to be called on the reader when you actually get the metrics from the route, from the metrics route endpoint. Well, that's a bit of a problem then, unless it's part of the middleware somewhere. All right, let's step through this. All right, so here's the process that should happen. The fast API obviously generates metrics when you hit an endpoint as access. So when you access an endpoint or route, you're supposed to get a metrics. Right now, the OpenTelemetry SDK should allow you to access them at some sort of endpoint. So you know whatever /metrics. Now the collector should be scraping the metrics from Fast API and then exposing them on the metrics endpoint. That's how the game should be played, but it's not happening. Okay, so let's have a look at here. So what's this initialized here? It's just a flag. Yeah, just a flag. Hi. I'm gonna skip over this. So skip over that. Oh, I have a breakpoint here. All right. So we don't have a provider, so we have to set up the Prometheus reader, a metrics reader, and set up the meter provider as well. And then when we get meter, it's supposed to return the one with the LangFlow name. Okay, let's do that. All right, so here, get meters. Let's put a breakpoint here. All right, so we don't have any meter providers. What's this? I see. So there's the Python provider, I guess. That's the Python stuff we're seeing in the output. And that's it, returns, huh? What about this one here? Just double checking the properties here. I wonder if there's another property to configure the meter provider here. If it's not a hidden property. All right. And this one is, where's this defined? Right, so that's a standard one they define in their package, okay. All right. At least we know where this is coming from. All right, so we have one meter provider. Configure. Now let's see. So we're just going to use the existing one we just defined. Yeah. But it's not going here, and that's the problem, right? So the Prometheus metrics reader is here, and we're here. Check it fast. Okay, it's already set up. Now, why are we assuming this is already set up somewhere? Why? Why did they add this code here? I don't even know why they have this code like this here. Because right after that, in the else clause, they said the Prometheus enable and set up the metrics reader. But that's what I need. I need the metrics reader. Like, why? What's happening here, man? And this is the meter I want. So I want the one base. Actually, I need both, man. I want to combine. All right, so I think this is what the problem is. They just made a boo-boo in their, telemetry service here, because this doesn't make sense. Like, why would you, check if this is configured? But we got the meter here, which is the default meter, which is just the Python stuff, runtime, but not really the Prometheus metrics, man. Am I going crazy here? Why would they do it this way? I don't understand. Why one or the other? Why not both? Oh, man. Why they do? Why? Why? I'm having an existential. Oh, man. All right. So at least I know why this is not picking up my Prometheus reader. Okay. What can we do here? So at this point, the reader is null. So we have to get this one here. God damn it. Why is it just so stupid, man? I'm sure somebody tested this. So this is the Prometheus exporter here. Okay, so it's not even used, man. It's not even used anywhere. So let me just do a search across the code base and see if it's used anywhere else. What's happening here? What is this? It's not used anywhere. So, oh man, the pain in the brain. Okay, I'm just going to stop this. Let's just step over this. So yeah, right. So there's the meter, right? So we set the meter here, LangFlow meter, which is just the Python stuff. Let me see what's happening here. All right, you know what? More fix me. Open telemetry. That's why I see fix me. For shit and giggles, we should just, pull the project one of these days and just fix all these issues and just send them back to them and say, here you go. All of it fixed. Okay, so I'm gonna change this code. So let's not use TypeScript. Here you go. So here, like that. And I'm gonna do this. All right. Let's see what happens when we do this. Let me stop this. I don't want to. Let's refresh this again. Okay. All right, let's step through this. All right, so now we're getting this one, meter enabled, sure. All right, now let's look at the providers. Oh, something's looking different. Okay, let's run this to completion. Actually, let's have a look at here. What's happening here? There's a meter provider. So what happens if I step over here? All right, beautiful. Okay, let's run this. Oh, suddenly we're getting all the match. Okay. LangFlow, you're messing with me, man. All right, let's see if this is running. Come on, let's go. All right, so the backend is up. Let's see if the metrics are different as well. Oh my God, now they're up here. See, I don't know why they did this code so badly, man. LangFlow, dude, seriously, man, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, why would you do this, man? Now we're getting everything. We're getting the Python and we're getting the, the stuff we need, man. Let me click around. All right, we got some requests going. Let's see what's happening now with the requests. Oh my God, see, we're getting all of the requests, man. Okay, all right, so there we go. We have all the Prometheus information now that we need for our dashboard, all the request information. All right, I don't know what the hell they did here. Why would they do it this way? And I'm just gonna, should I just change this? Like, so annoying. I'm just going to comment this out because it just doesn't make sense the way they did it. I don't know why. So I'm just going to delete it and pretend never happened. And if I do a pull request and they want to look at my code, they can just, I don't know. This should be the default. Okay. There you go. Done. There you go. Boom. Done. Okay. Default. Okay. The other stuff, it didn't just make sense. It was just, describing just the Python stuff, nothing else. Anyways, going back. So I like, wow, go away now. Let's remove all the breakpoints now. Let's just get rid of them. Okay. So let's see. We have a lot of information here. Look at that. Keep going. Refresh. Let's see. See, by default, we just get this. If it's, if the fast API is not enabled, we obviously lose all the metrics to store in memory. But let's see what happens if it's back online. There we go. See? All right, so we're done. All right, moving on to Dockerfiles, I guess. I'll build the dashboard, or should I build the dashboard? Coco. They're using standard stuff here, so I think I use the same properties in my dashboard as well. I'm just going to double check. Coco, hey. I'm just going to ignore this part for now and build or customize the dashboard when we get to deployment. So we also use dashboard as code principle. So we'll put the dashboard in Git, and then we'll customize it. We'll create a separate dashboard. Anyways, I like this now. So now we have a little bit more information here, what's happening with the requests. Sweet. Moving on. Sorry, LangFlow, but that code you had there was just no good. It was garbage. I'm sorry. There's no way around it. Okay. So that's it for observability. At least basic metrics. Okay. So basic metrics. So again, we're not going to create everything. We're just going to go with basic red. So this is just for red. So just doing this. The utilization we're getting from just basic container metrics that we're collecting, right? So we have this already. And the errors, we're just going to look at the errors from us. So anyway, so we're done for basic read and use metrics, right? Following that methodology. And latency, we can probably figure out from the rates here, from the duration, right? So we'll do the calculation. We'll be doing Abdex score as well. So I like doing Abdex. So Abdex, if you're not familiar with Abdex, this is the best way to kind of calculate your whatever, your system, your score of your system, and then you kind of put this in your your dashboard, and also put a alert on it if Abdex score gets too low. You want to look at it, right? So then you don't have to respond to every little change in your kind of degradation performance. It has to be very specific degradation, right? So you want to calculate the score, right? And the score is just a formula based on Prometheus metrics, right? Where's the formula? Just give me the formula, bro. Where's the formula? Thank you, IBM. Let me look at the wiki. Where? I just want a wiki, man. Just give me the formula. There we go. So there you go. That's your formula. So you pump this into your your alert system, your Prometheus alert manager, and then you get the score. And if you say greater than, boom, throw it in your Slack message, and you don't respond till the threshold is reached. So then you can save money on looking at every issue that comes up till it reaches a threshold, right? Because a lot of people, they might call you and say, "Oh, the website is slow." What does that mean, slow, right? So subjective. What the hell is slow? Might be slow for that region only, right? So you can look at the the performance and look at the Abdex score, and you don't do anything till it reaches a specific threshold. Coco, come on, bro. There's nobody outside. The coyote's gone, man. Thanks. Moving on, closing everything now. Let's switch our brain to more DevOps stuff. Let's close everything. So one thing I did not like is two things: the containers and the logs, the way they are. So they're not friendly logs. What I mean by that is, if I look at my Kubernetes output, for example, my logs for this pod. So let's just grab this one here. So this is something that people don't think about when they're creating these applications, because it's just something doesn't come up. But if you look at these logs here, I'm just going to Explorer. Yeah, let's just go in here. So what the hell is this, right? If you can see, the logs are split across each line, right? That's not good. So these are not good Docker logs, right? So we need to adjust the logger. That's the first thing. And the other thing, we have to adjust the containers and how we are tagging the containers, right? This is going to be a little bit controversial, because tagging is something that industry does a lot. But I'm here to tell you, for production systems, you don't use Docker tags, okay, period, man. I know there's so much controversy about that. Don't know why people cause problems, or there's a blowback here. So first of all, Dockerfiles here. Dev Dockerfiles, what's front end? All right, let's see. What's this? Okay, as an example, so we're going to change this Dockerfile, make it more production ready. But if you look at this thing at the top, Python. So let's just grab this, right? And this happens a lot in industry and with DevOps guys, and it's always a problem. So if I do something like that, right, from Python Slim, people think that's good. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Now, there's a big problem with that. If my Docker file starts with this, I'm already in trouble. Why? Because this specific tag, so the 310 Slim is a tag, is a Docker tag, they're mutable, right? They're mutable, which means that you can build it many times with the same tag. And every time you build it, you can introduce errors, you can change it, you can just do whatever you want under the same tag, because they're mutable, they're not immutable, right? So then if you're grabbing these containers from your Docker repository, say public one, you don't know, you have no confidence in it, right? They're not predictable, right? So for production system, you need predictability, right? You need to have container that is your immutable object, that is there, and if something happens, you want to know exactly what's there. You want to reproduce it, test it, look at the issues within the Dockerfile, any libraries, right? You want to have pin versions in there and all that stuff, right? So this is not correct, right? And it seems to be a sticking point in the industry with DevOps guys where do you want to use tags, right? Which is weird, man. Anyways, so if I go back to Docker Hub as an example, I don't know what's coming up with the busy box, but who cares? Let me grab the Python one I just had here. All right. There's go. Where's the slim version that I had? Python slim. So 310 slim, right? There we go. Anyway, so that's the one we're using. First of all, it's not very specific as well. So if you want to, you should probably have more specificity. Or use the one here, Bookworm, right? Or the specific version 310.16, right? That's the first thing. Second thing, if we look at this, well, let's look at here in tags better. So on the tags. There you go. This is the one we have, right? So right away, you should probably start with something like that, not just 10 slim. Just that's already better there. But again, this can be rebuilt and changed, and the Dockerfile can change, and you're still going to get the same mutable tag. Okay. What's not immutable is the digest here, right? So you can see this digest, it changes every time, right? So, this SHA string here, that is more appropriate for production systems, right? Because then you know exactly it's this specific build, not any other build that has the same tag, but this specific build. So anyways, production really means predictability, right? As much as possible. You want to have immutable system productions that are predictable. So that's the first thing we're going to change. Second thing, what else we're going to change here? Let's just look at the Docker files first. So loggers, we need to have better Docker log files, and we also need to have better mutable Dockers as well. Let's see. I wonder which one is the correct one here, because there are a few of them here. So maybe we should start with the front end first, because the front end seems to be here, isolated by itself. Right. Okay. So this is just a basic Nginx container. Okay. So this one can change quickly. Let's look at this template here. API health checks. Cool. We have that. That's good. What else do we have? Conf here. What is this health check here, though? Let's have a peek at this. This is passing to backend URL from the front end. Where is the health check for the front end? Okay. Well, there's a difference between checking the backend is healthy and also the front end. So for my liveness probes or my readiness probes, I like to have a health check that is related to this container, not checking the backend URL. That's a bit strange. There's no... Okay, so let's update Nginx as a starting point. Where else do we have here? Okay, so they're running this default config here. Oh boy. So they're running the React application of Nginx, which is fine. I mean, it's not ideal, it's fine. You can really make it nice and fancy to kind of detect what's happening to the server. Nginx is very basic, but it's good enough. All right, let's start with this. It's going to be a little bit painful. Okay, let's close this. So the front end is the easier one to get going. All right, so we have a multi-build Docker file. We have a builder, and then we use the builder to create the final container here, or the final image. And they use build kit here. So we're not going to use build kit since we're running this through our CI/CD pipeline in the cloud with daemonless. Well, there's no build kit installed in our build system, build pipeline. But we can test it locally before obviously we push it. So I'll leave the build kit the way it is. Now, let's see. All right. Where are we going to start here? So the Docker logs are for the backend. So I'm going to ignore the Docker logs for the front end. I am going to adjust the conf file to have one more health endpoint for the container. I mean, you can hit the the React root, right, to actually see if it's actually getting response. So we can have that as our as a health check. Let me see, what can we do here? Because this needs to change. Some of these things need to improve. So first thing I'm going to do is create cloud build file so we can track it. So I'm going to use the cloud build YAML, cloud build. Okay. It's cloud build YAML, right? Just remember, yeah, okay, I picked it up. Okay, Google builds it. Okay, so we're going to use Google Cloud Build. We'll define the steps here for both of the containers, and we'll tweak it here. Okay, so let's have this in the background. So then the environment variables will come from here, anything that's required. Now, starting the environment variables, we'll start here with, let me pass in the node version first. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So there's nothing wrong with the multi-stage build here. It's fine. The only thing that I have an issue here is with, again, lack of production readiness. All right. All right. So let's see. All right. So usually what I do is I define properties here, arguments. Yeah, that's what these properties are called. I meant so. And then I use the arguments. So this is going to be my, let's call this node image. So this might be my node image I pass in. So now let me split this up. Oh, okay. Oh boy. You know what? To make it backwards compatible, I'm gonna make this a node image. Sure, let's do this. Okay, so then we can just pass in here node image. Okay, so now we can pass this in as a parameter to our build system. Actually, let me just get the cloud build going. Let me get it from. Let me grab cloud build from somewhere. So I'll have to type it. Cloud build. And this looks like a nice and complicated one. I don't know what the hell I was doing here. All right, anyways. So we need steps. What the hell I was doing here? All right, let's delete all that stuff. Oh, this is for the lob chat. Okay, cool. Right. And we're not going to do the CD part, just the CI part, right? Because the CD part we have in the Helm chart. So I'm just get rid of this stuff. The rest I do want to keep. Oh, well, that's just too much here. Anyway, so I need just that. Nah, on push. All right, let me just grab all this and clean this up. What the hell I was doing here? Shot. Okay, doesn't matter. Doing lots of things in this file. Okay. All right, so step one, we're gonna do. What are we going to do? Checkout code? No, we're going to. We want to run the Dockerfile for the front end. So, and that's in Docker front end, and we're just changing this build and push one. Okay. And then we want to push it. So first step is build the container. So build the front end Docker image. Okay, it's going to be multi-stage, so we're going to capture everything, all the complexity within the Docker file itself. And this is in, so these are directories are relative to the root. So this would be Docker / front end. Oh, what the hell just happened? Code complete just went crazy on me. Docker front end, and that's it. So Docker front end is our context. So that's where the Docker file exists. We're going to have some build arguments. First build argument we're going to have is this node image. Okay. And here, this is where I'm going to, so I'm going to leave this as a, I'm going back here. So this is going to be, let's close this shit. Why am I have this open? So this is going to be default. So you can have defaults in your args, and you can override them with the build argument. So the default is going to be this. Actually, let me just graph this and go to Docker Hub and find this. So I can see if it's actually, there's a better version of it. And let's just grab the node container here, image. All right. So yeah, default. Let's create a better default. So better default would be, let's use 22 Node.js as a default with Bookworm Slim. So this one here, 24.14. Okay. So I'm gonna use this one. Why click on this? All right, so if I go to tags, (22.14). Is it 0? Yeah. Sorry, dash bookworm, right? All right. Okay, so this is the one we're going to grab as a default. All right, just for the Docker file. All right. And for our node, we're going to grab the digest. So I want to get the digest going for our build process. So we know which one we're building. So I'm going to grab this thing here. Yeah. All right. So in the cloud file, we're just doing, what's notation? It's node at, yeah, okay. Anyways, so this is going to be node, if I can spell node. Okay, so that is going to give us a bit of, again, immutable build here. What else do we have here? Right, so I'm going also combine this with, so the build here, when we build it, we actually building it based on hash. So we're still going to use the Docker tags, but we're going to, in our system, what we're going to do is change them every time. So every time we build, we just update the tag, and the tag is going to reflect the hash of the build, right? The get hash. Okay, so that's so we need that. That's good. Anyways, so now if you think about hypocrisy, I said don't use tags. Well, this is kind of middle ground, right? So we're tagging it, but we're tagging it each time with specific git commit. So then we know which code base or which part of the code base built the container, so we can trace it back. So then we can look at the hash, in the image, and then just look at our hash in our commits and see where's the code. And we know exactly where it's one-to-one where the code is, right? So this is step above, just a random tag, like a romantic version tag, 10 point something, whatever. But it's a step below a digest. Now we're also going to have a digest here as well when it's created. So we could use a digest in the Helm charts, right? So both things happen, right? So the tags are added, but the digest also will be created, right? So we have option to use just a basic tag, which is latest. So always grab the latest. We also have an option to just use the one from specific git commit, and also by default we also get a digest, right? So that's always good. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. So that's good. So right. Next thing, what else I want to do here? Let's put some comments here. Okay. Where's the working deer? Shouldn't we set the working deer here? So I always like to set the working deer, so then there's no ambiguity what's happening. So then it's much easier to do from here. You don't have to guess, right? So in here, what's the context? Let me see if they're running this with a make file. Docker build here. Okay. So what is this? Docker. What the hell is this? Where is this coming from? What? So this is the build. So build LangFlow image, Docker front end, and okay, and the version. Okay. And the Docker front end is, where's this coming from? Let's look at this variable. All right, so this, okay, so that's the one we're grabbing. Okay, cool, right? So just to make sure. And there's the version. So the version they get from the project TOML, so as you can see, it's a bit of a problem. So I'd rather get the version from git hash, from the commit, right? So when we commit code, we know it's committed, and let's use that hash to, stamp on the Docker container, on the Docker image, so we know what that is. All right, so, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so this is the Docker file we're grabbing. So cloud build, what's the thing I want to use here? -f. Is it -f? I have to double check. -f, and then the name of the file, right? Code complete is annoying the hell out of me today. Okay, so I'll double check this anyways. But this is just gonna grab the Docker file that we want. All right, sweet. Anyway, so the make file I just looked at just to confirm that they're running this. Okay, now one more. I want to confirm the context of the build. So where's the context? Here. So this is running from where? From the root. Okay, so the context, so is that the root of the application? So then they have to switch. So they have to go into source and front end. Okay, so in the Dockerfile, yeah, source front end, and they copy things to front. Okay, cool. So they know what the context is. Okay, so we want to set the working directory, which is front end, right? So let's just here. So let's just set. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Front end. One too many thingies. Okay. What else? Once we have the. What else do we want to do here? Right. So at this point, we don't need to. Want it. Yeah. Like that. Now, I always like to run the package JSON first, right? So I like to run the npci command first before I do. So yeah, here, and then I want to do build after, not in one. So I like to separate these things into two separate things. Yeah, let's do this, and we'll talk about why. So let's add labels first. Okay, I always like to have labels. Let's add labels, and then we talk about it. So labels, label, and stage. So this is going to be the builder stage, builder. Right. So we can then, and then also label. Let's just put label here. I can spell freaking label. What is this? Open container image title. No, I want to, not the title. I want the base, right? Open containers dot image dot base name. Base. Anyways, I'm trying to use the standard, standard. Oh my god, finish this! Holy shit! All right, okay. That's just for audit trail. So I'm gonna have that. This is just some metadata. All right, anyway, so let's do this. All right. Next thing, I always like to separate the installing of dependencies with from the build. So we're going to install dependencies, and then we're going to do build the front end, Okay. So let's do CI in here. Now, before we do this, you want to copy that package JSON. Sure, both of these things. So at least we know if there's a problem here, we can isolate the problem. Also, a little bit of caching might help as well here, a little bit, not much. And then at the end is we are here already, so we're already in the working directory, so we don't have to cd to it. So we just want to run np build. That's it. Okay. All right. Sweet. Okay. Let me look at this. All right. That looks good now. Okay, that's a little bit better. This should be. Why is this complaining? The linter. What's wrong with your linter? This should be in quotes? What? What are you complaining, linter? Let's ask Super Maven. Why is the linter complaining? What? What's the change? Arg node, the image? No, it's here. What? Did I misspell it or something? Include arg. I already include arg. Thanks, ChatGPT. It's already here. This is strange. I don't know why this is giving me the same thing. Did I misspell this or something? This is no. So this is useless, man. Dude, it's exactly what I did, man. Thanks, Tips. Thanks, Captain Obvious. And let's see if we can get a better suggestion from Augment. Nope. Maybe we should switch the cursor. Let's see if we can get something better from here. Cody. What's up, Cody? But the other arc. Oh my God, are they gaslighting me? It's above. It's right here. It's at the top, dude. Okay. Reject. Oh, this is just so weird. Okay. I'll enter that to me for now. All right. All right. What else? So anyways, I'm happy with the build stage. Now, what else? Let's deal with this stage here. Again, we're going to change this to args. So yeah, let's just create a new arg here. Arg. And this one's going to be, no, Nginx image. Use why is it capital? Nginx image capital, sure. Okay. Let's have a look at this one here in Docker Hub, so we can get the right digest. Oh my God! Did I just click on that? Jeebus. All right. And which one we're getting? Which tag? We are grabbing stable bookworm Perl. All right. So again, by default, I like to have more specificity in my tag before as my default. So I think just look for Perl. Now, why would they use bookworm? That's kind of really heavy one, unless they're doing something naughty in the container. So if this is just running Nginx, there's no need for creating the bookworm. There's a, let me look, what's the size? So you always have to think about the size of the containers, right? Because you keep on loading and moving them around. There's bandwidth issues, all that stuff, right? So you gotta be mindful of the size. So if I look at the size of this one here, and I just want to figure out why would they use this size here. So this one is what? What's the size? 78 megs, right? It's actually bigger because it's this is the multi architecture build. So this is a quite big, well, not quite big. It's small, relatively speaking, but it's 80 megs, right? So if I look at the Alpine one, that should be way smaller. It should be like 5 megs, right? Or 20. What's this one here? 20? Right, this is 20. So it's 1/3 the size, right? So why not use this one? Like, why would they use the other one? Anyways, I'll use this as a starter, as a default, because I don't know why they would not use this one. There's nothing. It's just Nginx, right? So, anyways, so let's use this as our starter. So instead of using stable bookworm Perl, we're going to use this. All right, and then for our all right. What's your problem? It's not blank. Dude, this linter has issues, man. So in here, we are going to create another build arg. And in our case, we're going to grab the, oh my God, let's just grab the freaking digest from here. All right. Nginx at, here we go. What's your problem? Oh, come on. Okay. All right. Anyway, so for our build, we're using, again, digest, making more immutable builds. So it's always the same. It's consistency, the same one. So anyway, so Nginx is going to here. Let's double check if that's the. All right. Why are you complaining? What's wrong with you, man? What the hell is your problem? It should not be blank. It's not blank. Why makes you think it's blank? What's wrong with this linter here, man? Where the hell are you going? I went to Docker Hub. Okay, wow. All right. All right. Moving on. I'm gonna have to get a better linter for my Docker files. Anyways, so that's good. What else do we have here? Let's move this to the side. So, okay. All right, so this should give us a much smaller image, or at least 1/3 of the image. Now, for this thing here, we don't care. The problem with Alpine usually is, when it comes to Node.js, is that there's some clibs that are always missing, and you have to kind of fiddle with that. So it's always better to get the fuller version, less stripped out version. So this Ubuntu version here is much better, or Debian, Ubuntu, whatever you want to do here. But for the final image, it just runs the application, right? So anyways, so that's okay. Now let's just deal with this Nginx. So what we're going to do here? Well, you know what? Let's do the same thing here. So I want to have similar properties here, so I can trace it when we build it. Okay. And what else I added? Stage builder, stage runtime. No, I usually don't add the stage at this stage because I don't care about the stage. This stage, yeah, this is for like multi build stages. Anyways, all right, cool. All right, so we build it. We grab it from the builder container. We grab the start Nginx here. Change the ownership. Sure. Okay, so this is where I have a problem with the entry point. No, the entry point is fine. Let me look at the entry point. Yeah, so the entry point is fine. Sure, we can leave it like that. It is using sh, not bash, just to be mindful of that. See, because usually I always do things in bash, and I get kicked in the gonads because of that. Anyway, so I want to change this first. So there seems to be a few things to change about these things here. First, let's just think about if it makes sense, okay? If it makes sense to, so the API backend, fine, sure. And there's also a health check, but the health check, I don't like having a health check for another service, for your upstream service, right? That doesn't make sense. Health checks, or the health should be really for your local container. In fact, we should add one to the Dockerfile. What about users? Okay, you know what? Let's just do this because there's things missing here. So first, yeah, I'm gonna change this. So I'm gonna add a volume and a health check. Now the health check, I'm gonna make it the React application, the root of the React application. Now that's gonna mess with my Kubernetes liveness probe. So okay, so let's divide this into multiple things. Okay, so first of all, if I was going to add a health check, so here, let's do a health check. Now, the problem I have with the health check is the curl command, because now I'm gonna have to curl the here. I will have to execute the curl command here. So sure, whatever that is. Now here's the problem. Curl creates a problem of vulnerability in your container. You should not have a curl in your container. You should actually remove it. So using curl for health check, just for the health check, causes a problem, right? So the reason you don't have a curl, because you don't want people having the ability to curl directly from your container. So when you execute into your container, it shouldn't be there, right? It's security, right? You should remove as much Linux capabilities as possible, because the only purpose of this container is to run this React application, nothing else, right? So we need to do a health check, but not with curl. Now, if you do wget command, that's web of vulnerabilities. Let me think about that. So we're going to run this through a security scanner when we build it. So we're going to pick up any issues. Now, curl is always picked up as an issue, just by default. Where else? What can we do here? All right, so I might avoid the health check here. I like to have health checks because when I run this with a Docker engine, not Kubernetes, for example, then for Kubernetes we use probes, liveness probes, and readiness probes, startup probes. But for just running the container and Docker Compose, things like that, we use health checks, right? So you can see if the container is healthy, and then you can also do things with that information, right? Fail or whatever, restart. So that's a good metadata to have. Now in this case, there is no health check in this container, so we don't know if it's healthy. So if I build this and run LangFlow the way it is, it just starts without a health check, right? So if you do Docker, PS, if you look at your processes here, you're not going to see that it's healthy, right? So it's not going to have if you inspect any of these containers here, there's always, health, right? A parameter here, right? So the concept of health is already at Docker engine level. It's not just Kubernetes level, right? So where's the health here, right? It doesn't even have health, this one here. Here you go. Here's the states, right? So there also should be a healthy state here, okay? Now the container doesn't have it. That's a problem, right? So you can't inspect the state if it's healthy and do something of that state, of that health status, because we don't have the health check. So anyway, so I guess it's just about decisions, micro decisions. So health check is required, but if I have to compromise on security and add a curl, I'd rather not do it, and I'd rather just move up the health check and just do it in Kubernetes and just assume this runs in Kubernetes. And for Docker Compose, there's other methods you can call, right? So the container itself is not going to have a health check. All right, so let's ignore the health check. Yeah. Okay. Well, we got to make some decisions here quickly. So we can start building this. wget is definitely more secure than curl because it's very limiting. You know what? Let me add the health check on based on wget, and then I'm also going to purposely remove curl from here because it's a vulnerability. Yeah, let's do a wget. Yep. I think so. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let me. Okay, I'll add a health check, and then I'll test it during a local build, and then for cloud build, we'll test it as well. But then we'll test with Kubernetes. There's 3 levels of testing: local, cloud, and Kubernetes. Now for Kubernetes, obviously, it overrides this health check and uses the probes. Anyways, so in here, what I'm going to do here is let's put this on a separate line so I can see it better. Let's look at these numbers first of all. So interval, check every 30 seconds, time of 30 seconds, sure. Startup period, no, let's just give startup period a little bit more. So let's give it, because it takes a while for the thing to bootstrap, right? For all the chunks and all that stuff to get going with React application. So let's give it 15 seconds. And retry 3. Okay, sure. Okay. And here, I'm just going to write the command directly. So not using the JSON syntax. Or should I? Let's just write a code. Let's write it. Just grab this. Let's write it directly. So in this case, we're going to do wget, make it quiet. Sure, quiet. We don't see it. We want to do what? -- spider. Yes, spider. And that's it. That's all I care about. And port. What's the port for this one here? Because we're assuming it's 80. It's 80, but hold on. Let's look at the start engine, the conf here. So where's the port? So we don't define the port here. Actually, yeah, there's a port here. Front-end port here. What about the nginx conf? Where's the port? Location. So usually the port is the first thing defined. Oh, here. So listen, where's this defined? What is the port? Oh, it's here. Okay. So it's a variable we pass in. If that's the variable we pass in, we should also make it configurable in the Dockerfile as well. Like, why isn't it here? Okay. Okay, and then we substitute here. So we also should expose ports in a Dockerfile. So since we are exposing the front end here, we're exporting it here. How are we going to do this? How am I going to do this? So we need to be consistent in terms of here. So we need to expose port. Now this is going to be a variable. Front end, sure. Crap. And then the front end would be here as well. So this will be this variable here. Now, so that means that needs to be an arg somewhere. So we can pick this up. So front and port. Nope. Crap, go away. Why are you finishing? No, stop. All right, so like that. At the root. And then we exit. Yeah, that's fine. So now we need to make sure that the front end port matches the port that we set in our entry point. Right, so I don't know why it didn't make it consistent. It just kind of, I don't know, assumed, I suppose. But since I'm looking at this, I'm not going to assume. So anyway, so let's put a health check here. Yeah. Yeah, sure, do it. Let's wrap this. Let's see if Super Maven can do its thing. Let's apply. What? No, no, that's not what I want. In a Docker file? No, dude, Super Maven, you suck, man. God damn it, let's undo. No, I just want this in freaking quotes, man. So yeah, SonarCube is complaining. So let's ask Cody again. See if Cody can fix it. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that, Cody. Okay, fine. Accept. How do you accept? Accept it. All right, cool. Linter is happy. Okay. Anyways, so the port. So we still want to be able to deal with some of this stuff here. Okay. Anyway, so the port. How are we gonna do with the port? So we need to. What I'm gonna do? If I want to make the port configurable, I want to pass a variable to my expose, right? Expose port. So I'm trying to think, what is the best way of doing this right now? It would be nice to if they set some defaults here. So which is, what they do? They set a default here. So, and it's only exported here. That's a problem. So this will be just done with this bash or the SI shell. It's not going to be available in a container. Oh boy. So I don't like that at all. It feels like it's hidden within this file. Right, so this is done a little bit backwards. Feels like whoever was doing this didn't have much experience with containers, I suppose, or Dockerfiles. So you want to be able to push this. So you want to configure the args here and then push them down to your entry point, or at least make it configurable, right? Pass the parameters into your entry point. I wonder if I run this entry point here, this script, will it populate this bash variable here or this environment variable? I don't think so, right? Like this is something that needs to be defined during the build process. So like this is just weird. It's weird because the container port should not be configurable you should make it static. And then in Kubernetes, you can configure those container ports there. So you have the service with different port, right? And the container or the pod container port can be configured. So, and the service is what's exposed on your ingress, right? So the ports there is much easier configurable. But here in container, what's the benefit of us having the ability to configure the front end port here like that? Doesn't make sense, right? We can make it static. And once we have it static, then we can then just use it both in our script here and also in our expose file, right? Like why complicate things with configurable ports if it's not relevant? The only thing that we care about is really the backend port. Just know what the API is, the backend URL here. So that we just need to care about that. So we need to know what that is. So we can redirect things to Nginx there, to a location in the Nginx. So why would you have a front end port that's configurable? Like this is just a kind of first principles question, right? Like I get that I get it here as an environment variable here if it exists. So get the second parameter here, but they set it to 80 as a default. But why even have all this, right? Like what is the benefit of having this? Like I don't see a benefit here. You can always have a reverse proxy in front of this, or you can run it as if you want to run it as as your main container, as your main exposed directly on your ingress, directly request going to this container, like whatever your TLS. But you can't even manage the TLS in here. There's no TLS configuration, right? So, anyways, point is that this just kind of makes things complicated for no reason, right? Like there's no purpose to this, as far as I can tell. So I'm going to remove this and remove the ability to control the front end port. Okay. I'm going to hardcode the port all over the place, the front end port, because there's no value. The backend URL needs to be configurable, but not the front end port. You get what you get, and you don't get complain. And you don't complain. Don't get upset, right? Pinkalicious. Anyways, that's what I'm thinking. Just removing this, hard coding this. I don't see any value in configuring the port. All right. That's my first thing. I want to delete this front end port and just hard code it so then we don't have to expose it. Because obviously they didn't think about it, they just did it. And based on this configuration here, it's easy to break this, right? Let's see, how will we manage this? Let's do this with arguments. You know what? Let's do this with arguments. Oh boy. All right. We'll go in between. All right. Let's create another arg in here. Just so we can just get going here. Arg, 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 front end. So I don't care what the port is. I mean, let's make this 8080 classic port, right? For your front end application. What else? So we'll define an arg. Excuse me, and we're going to make this a build argument as well. Sure, just for shits and giggles, for our purposes. Let's make this a build arg. Shut up. Okay, so we are controlling it here, doing the build process. Sure. Okay. Now, next thing. I'm going to, what I'm going to do? I'm going to set the default port, right? So, yeah, let's do it that way. So just to make it backwards compatible, I'll still have it in front end. I'm going to have a default, let's call this default, okay? So we're not going to break it too much for the other guys. So default front end. Okay, let's make this, okay? So then we can adjust the script. So anyway, so that's our default value. Let's go default, shut up, default port, default here, and default here, okay, by default. Now, the next thing is the script. So in the script, what can we do here? Script. Let's adjust the script. For the script, let me save this. For the script, what I'm going to do here, script is, so we already have the default. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't want to have this here. So front end, so like this, let's move this. I want to get the default into this thing here. How do I get the default into here? So how do I get the default into here? What would be the best way of going about this? I can define an environment variable that equals to default. That's the best way, okay? So that's a compromise here. So going back here, so two things. So arg, and then I'm just do our env here. I'll just do it inside the, oh my God. Oh jeez. All right, so here, env, so this will be my environment variables, and this one's going to be, no, I want the front end port equals default port. Okay, so there we go. So we have a default, and so we control the build parameter. Also, we have the front end port. Okay. So this is the variable that's going to be defined. So this script should pick up the variable, environment variable when it runs. So it should exist and you should use it. Okay, cool. All right, so we're good. Yeah, that's a better way of doing it. I'll test in a minute, but that's a better way of doing it, I think. Gives me a little bit more configurability. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. All right. So getting back to Nginx. We can add some debug flags as well. So because a lot of times I want to see the final output here, which I can't tell right now. So I like to echo. I want to echo the output here. So in here, looking at this thing, so for debugging purposes, it's nice to see. So yeah, let's add a debug variable here as well. So no here. So we're going to say, going back to here, environment variables. So I want to put another variable here. This is for debug purposes only. We also need one for cache, right? Anyway, so we'll get to cache in a second. So anyway, so first, let's add. Oh, come on, stupid thing. Let's what? I want only variable, not label. Why you give me a freaking labels? No. I want it in. Okay. Oh my god, this is just annoying, isn't it? All right, so let's just put a debug variable here. Debug equals to false. So cool. And then what I can do is I can inspect the conf file because I need to know what's happening, especially for debugging when I start building it. So see if the debug is true. So this is, again, it's not bash, it's sh. So sure. Let's just check for the debug goes true. And no, I want to echo. I want to hell echo. No. Okay, it was so good, thingy. I want a cat. Sorry, I want a cat to come. Yeah, this, right? This whole thing. There we go. So we can see what the hell is happening here. So debug mode enable. No, it will start. The hell. Let me just. I want to put. This is the configuration file. Nginx configuration. Okay, cool. All right, so that's nice. Where else I was going to say? So the other thing that keeps coming up is Nginx cache. So when you run Nginx, you need a cache, and cache is usually mapped to temp files, right? So now we can define these. We already defined these as volumes in Kubernetes. It's always nice to have add a Dockerfile as well. So let's see. Should we add cache volumes? Now, the reason I don't want to add cache is because I think it's configurable by conf file, right? So unless we configure in a conf file, then it just goes to temp, right? But then, hold on. So let's do this. So where is the configuration here? So there's always cache used. Most of the time it's cache used here. So where's this? It's not configured here, is it? No. Okay. Nope. Okay. So the default is usually temp.cache, temp nginx or something. Let me look at this. Let me look this up actually. So where's my little window here? So this is a server issue. So nginx cache, where is it? Files, location. Let's see. All right, let me see where it usually added by default. And this is a real thing. We have to add a volume to our help chart for this to work because we're throwing exceptions. So you need cache, right? Now I'm going to look at the default location, and then we can probably configure the path ourselves and then create a volume for that, right? So we already have the volume. Or should we push the control back to the Kubernetes administrators and let them configure it, right? That's always kind of the decision you have to make. Do you do it yourself in a container? Now, if you do it in a container, you don't have a volume. So using you define a volume, but then you can map a volume. I guess you can map a volume to the volume in the container. So you can actually have both. You can define it. I don't see the default value. Where the hell is the default location? Why are you messing with me, Nginx? Where's the default location? I don't want to look at the source code, obviously. I see. Okay. Is it there? Let me look at my Helm chart. Actually, the deployment. Let's double check the deployment. So for the front end, we added volumes because otherwise it wouldn't work. So let's see what volumes I have here on the pod itself. Okay. So Nginx cache, what is that one? It's just empty there. Oh. And what does it mount to? Let's look at the mount path. Volume mounts. Here. All right. So so we mapped it to this default location, okay? Because it wasn't going to start otherwise. So we needed both the temp. This is for the Nginx process ID, I suppose. And then we needed this thing here, these three here, okay? So anyway, so we needed these three. So these are the additional volume mounts we need. So why not create them in a Dockerfile from the start? So then you don't need to add them in your Helm chart. Now in here, I added them as an extra volume. Let me just double check this because I didn't put them in my Helm chart. Let's double check. Where is my Terraform deployment? Yeah, you go away. So in our Terraform deployment, we did what? Where's the front end? So when we wrote this initially, I gave it customization so we can add extra volumes. So let's look at the main TF file. Where's the volumes? Where the hell I put the volumes? Where are the volumes? Volumes. Did I just put them in the values YAML? Where's the volumes? Let's look for /temp. Here, okay. Right, so there are extra volumes here, so why not cover them in a Docker file, right? I think we should do this. So then we need to add these additional volumes every time, because you might forget, right? So let's do this. And the default is var cache, not temp. Did I put temp? Yeah, I put temp Nginx. Okay. So yeah, let's do this. Going back to the Dockerfile, so this just got more complicated, obviously, right? Trying to cover all these different things. All right. So I'm not, and there's so the PID needs to see, there's the temp one. See, freaking temp is right here. So they do have it, but they don't define the volume, and then it just cuts out on you because it's not set up, right? It's not configured. All right. So Dockerfile. So first of all, we need the volume for the temp. So volume /temp. Okay. /temp, because that's the one they have here, right? Right. They just put the file there in the Nginx PID file. Okay. And what else? The cache. So looking at the cache. Okay, so cache now. So temp, volume. What else? Yeah, let's define all of them on the same line, right? So we can do that. Okay. All right, let's just put them all here. So temp. Yeah, var cache. What else do we had? Temp. Where's it? Var. Where's it? Var run. Var run. And then we also had temp.nginx. What was that one for? Temp. What the hell is that one for? That one is for what? Where's that one coming from? That one is. We have the temp. We have. No, that's it. So temp.nginx. Why do I have that one? Let me look at my Terraform code again. Where's my Terraform code here? No, I didn't have it. What am I doing? Okay, so yeah, var run nginx. Okay, so these are the three I have that I needed. Okay. And they have to be edited. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's go back. So sure. Dockerfile here. Okay. Don't know why I need temp nginx. Don't need that one. Okay. All right. Why this file just got so much complicated? Define volumes to catch. Yeah, sure. All right. All right. What else for this file? I think we're good. We can start testing this file. No, we should also change the permissions of these directories, right? Because otherwise it'd be a problem. So yeah, let's move this around. So it's I never like to have this. So last thing I want to have is the entry point. So usually I have this here, like so. User, yes, let's switch the user at the top. Should be nginx user, right? So here, I don't know why we don't have it here. Actually, just put it down here below this user nginx. Okay, we're switching the user. Yes, we're changing here. Let's put the volumes a little bit higher as well. So let me just define the volumes here right before I copy. All right, cool. Now, once I have that, I like to always change the permissions just in case something happens. So I'm going to create the directories and then change them. So I'm going to run the command to change. No, I got to make the directories first. Make it so. Come on, dude. Make the freaking directories. Temp. 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 What else am I making? Varchar. Yep. So make 3 directories, and then I want to change. Yeah, do that, and then and then. Hold on. You just failed. That's a failure right there. Okay, that's a okay. So, all right. Come on. All right, so we want to make sure we make these directories, and then once we make these directories, they're available. They're mapped as volumes, and then we can change them to. What am I going to change this? So the problem is the temp directory, right? The temp is always a little bit different. So I can't use the temp should be. Hold on, let me do the temp first. So when we do temp in Linux, usually what we do is we do channel minus 1 77, not minus, sorry, 177, because it's freaking temp, right? And then we do the other ones. Okay, cool, right? So temp is a special directory, it requires a special permission, right? All right, and the other one is going directly to the Nginx user. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, I think we're good to test. Actually, what is this Nginx variable here? Let me see. So I see environment variable. I want to see if I need to use this. What is this? Okay, right. So this is your output here. Okay, well, let's use this. Why not use this and what? Okay. All right, here. Okay, so we have some variables here. Cool. Directory where the result of executing env substring is outputted. Usually there. Okay, cool. So why am we using this directory? So hold on. Hold 1 second. We're using the startup script here. So we're using even substring here. Okay. Cool. Why not use the directory that comes with the parent container? So when we define the env here, so why not put this here and make it a little bit more standard? I guess. Docker front and default conf template, Docker. What is this? Docker. Yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, that's the file. And we're pushing this to each. Okay, so yeah, so that's the file. Okay, cool. So we want to put it here. So that's the output here. Okay. So if we have the output here now, we can just use that variable instead of, right? Why not use the variable? Let me double check, because I feel like we don't need to do that, even though I see it down in the parent container. Do they even suggest doing that or no? Right, so that's already by default set to that. So I don't want to reset the same variable to the same default. It does make it more transparent that we have it in the Docker file, so people know exactly where this is going. But you know what? Let me just see if we can find this in Dockerfile. Okay, why is? Let's just show me the README file. Okay, cool. You suck. Why is this Docker? Okay. All right. Yeah, you know what? Let's just leave it because we're using the default directories. So yeah, let's just. It's already the default. Let me move this to the side, the doc. Okay. So you know what? I'm not going to use this. So by default, this is that. So and by default, they're just putting it in that directory, and by default, they're starting Nginx even subs puts it in the same directory. Okay, so it's all coincidental, sure, but you know what? If you know that that's the default, then you're good. So, anyways, all right, let's see if we can build this container and run it. Any other issues here? Or anything to deal with? No, we're good. Anything else? No, nothing comes up. Okay. Mm, mm, maybe this thing here. I like to be explicit. Yeah, let's be explicit here. So it's both the group and the user. It's Nginx, okay? So there's no ambiguity. Okay. Let's try the make file here, see if it builds it for us, and see what we broke. Now we're running this on Mac, which is ARM. So I want to have a nice builder. So when we use BuildKit, let me open up my Mac. So let's see what builders we have configured. I don't want to use the commands because I remember not builders here. So builders, or I have an Atlantis builder, which I used to build Atlantis, but it's the same thing. Let me look at this. So it's going to build ARM and okay. So in our case, there's only two platforms I care about, which is it's ARM for the Mac people, and then AMD 64 really for the Kubernetes people, right? Because we're not running any ARM VMs right now, but we are running ARM 64 for the Mac people, and the Windows people can use the same thing as the Kubernetes people, right? So I want to provide. Well, I need to provide the platform that's already configured for me. So I'll use this builder. There's a Linux builder I have here. What's in this one? This one is the same one. Why do I create two of them? Just to cause myself more pain. Yeah, they're the same. I don't know why I created two of them. Actually, the versions are off. Let me see. That version is. I need a new builder. You know what? Let's just create a new builder because this is old version. I created so long ago, and I updated my Docker builder toolkit so many times. This is 18 version. Okay. All right. Let's write some commands here. So let's build. Actually, let's look at the make file. See if we already have the commands done. If not, we will have to. Where's the builder? There's nothing here. Okay. Yeah, they just have simple build command. Anyways, I'll run this command, build it with the same version just for testing purposes. So I run this the front end. Cool. But first, what's the command for the builder? I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab this from my other project. So I can just copy paste commands. So we have project when we have images, where this should live actually, not something. So KPS, I think images. Nope. Where's my KPS images? I know I have it here. Okay, so and for the Atlantis VM, I did run. Where's my make file here? Here. Yeah, I did put the commands here to shut up, augment. Okay, so yeah, you want to create your own builder just so you have the right platforms configured, so that you don't have to think about it. Let me see. Use builder, create builder. I'm just going to grab all these commands here because, yeah, and add it to the other make file. Yeah, let's do this. Okay. You have to be mindful of this fancy Mac people with the ARM CPUs, as opposed to use Windows as well. So that's what we have to do this. Right. So here, where the Docker starts, I'm going to add this thing here. So I'm just going to change the names here. So create builder X builder. First thing is to create builder. Share. I'm going to remove the steps. All right. We're going to give it a name and platforms. Second thing is we have use the builder. I'm going to have to make these a little bit more transparent on these commands, or maybe more informative. So we're going to use the builder. We're going to set it as use. And after that, inspect. Now, do I care? Yeah, let's just put inspect as well. So we can just figure out what platform is this for this builder. What else? Damn it. I have such silly comments in here. Actually, wait, they don't even use comments on the, okay, so what, okay, let's just keep the standard. So usually I put the comments here so I can see them in a terminal. So remove this, but we'll follow whatever they did. So in the make file, okay. Build the image for multiple, yeah, okay, that's what I want, okay. So in this case, I have two, okay. So I'm gonna call this fancy Mac build. So build, actually wait, so this is already good. Build, let me see what they do. They do Docker build front end, and they have Docker build FE. So that's what they have, and then depend on Docker build. Okay, and this depends on Docker build. Where's this one here? It depends. No, where's the Dockerfile build? Where's that one here? Oh, come on. Here. All right. And this, okay. So let's change this. Let's put build the X in front of it. So build X. Okay. This will be my build X commands, and I remove this. Actually, do it here. Oh my God. Why these difficult? Okay. So the idea here is to also have common way to build your builder, your Docker builder, you build X tools locally. And then you can use it to build your containers. And this really helps for your fancy Mac people, because they're so freaking fancy. All right, so let's actually, now the only thing that I don't care about is this. So I'm going to say build, here, build FE or front end. All right, and I'm going to say we'll build X. So build X, build front end. This can be like a special command just to use the build X build. All right, and in this case, this is going to be my fancy Mac build, just for my Mac build. So I have to build multiple platforms, so it's much faster. So it's going to be build front end. All right, so nice make file here. Cool. Okay. All right, so we're good. Now let's test these commands. So the only thing that I need to change is grab the front end build from here. Right, so let me look at the Docker command first here, because I think they overload the Docker command just to make it more easier to manage. All right, so I don't want to do that. Okay, cool. So for the front end, I'm going to grab this thing here, so a reference, and I'm going to go back into my front end build here. Clean context. Do I have clean context there as well somewhere? Whatever, we can clean after. All right, this one too. All right, so this is my reference. All right, so build image, build Docker front end, and I'm going to leave the platforms here. And the only things the build image is this. So I'll just keep the same build image just to be consistent. All right, build image is this. Okay, and then we have the Dockerfile lives in Docker frontend here. Okay. All right, cool. So we're good. All right. Okay. Let me move this to the side so I have it as reference so I don't mess up. All right. All right, so that's for the multi. All right, let me grab the platforms so variable. So I have a platforms variable here. All right, so for platforms, let's put setup and let's add it to some over here. All right, so this is my platforms for building. All right, I only care about these two platforms usually. We can add more. Again, Mac people and everybody else, except if you have some fancy RISC CPU, then you're dead to me. You're too fancy. So we have the platform. Where else do I need? Bloody hell. Okay, here. All right, so that's good. So we have the building Dockerfile front end platforms, and then we have platforms version, and okay, cool. So that's good. All right, so that's done. Now I want to have the same thing, but I want to have just one architecture, which is my ARM architecture. So let's use the same thingy here. No, just here, building image this, and then build image. What do I do with the build image? Oh, still the same thing. Let's use this thing here. All right. And Dockerfile. Okay, cool. All right, there we go, sweet. Okay, so let's just run these commands and see if everything's good. See if my makefile is okay. Oh, it's not 349. What the hell? I messed up on 349. 349. 349. Where's 349? Oh, here. Yeah, this. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's change the names a little bit here so they're more consistent. BuildX, BuildX, build as inspect. But okay. Shh. Calm down, bro. Just somebody outside. All right, I think we're good. Now I see the comments are coming right after the thingy, right? So let me do the same thing. And there's double pound. Okay, so double pound. Again, just be consistent. So I'll do it here, I guess, as I had it before. So double pound. Okay. All right, we're ready for testing. Let me just remove this. Let's just have one doc. Okay, let's see the make file now. Okay, so we have build. Okay, so these are our new additions here. All right, so first I'm going to create the builder. So we're going to run this. See if it, oh, what's happening here? Clear. Oh, this is just options. So they're just very long. Okay. All right, cool. So make here. So what do we need for this one here? So we're going to create our own builder here. So we just need to give it a name and platform. So we have a builder name. We didn't define builder name. Okay, so let's just put the builder name at the top. So we have a consistent builder. This is going to be a LangFlow builder. So, all right. Oh, wait, builder. Okay, let's run this. Sweet. So creating a LangFlow builder for this platform. So if I go into the Docker app right now, I should see a new builder here. Here, right now, see, it's not used. It's been created. Okay, 12 seconds ago. Okay, so now, what's the 0 here? Oh, yeah, no. Okay. That makes sense, I suppose, before it started. Okay. Anyways, so we have this. Next step is to do build, use the builder. So I'm gonna go make use builder. All right, so now it should be active in your Docker desktop. Here you go. Why is it paused? What the hell? Anyway, so it's the active one. Do I need a pause flag on this thing here? Build and node is inactive. Why? Anyways, it's well, let me see if I messed this up somewhere. Anyways, moving on. Next command would be to let's inspect the builder. It's just let's see if it's actually properly configured. I don't know why it's paused. Oh, there we go. Okay. We get a little bit of feedback here. Sweet. We get the driver. This is our Docker container driver building locally. All right. There we go. It's running now. Go look at the version. So this is way higher version than I had there before. I had like 1.16 or something. Oh, sorry, 0.16 or something. Yeah, 0.13. Okay. Anyway, so we have the latest builder, so we can avoid some of the bugs. Okay. Cool. Now let's just run. Why is this 0 though? Did I put a 0 there, or is it just how it's indexed now? I don't remember putting a 0 there. It doesn't really matter. Well, actually, there's one here too. Okay, I guess that's the way to do it in on the Mac and Docker desktop. Okay, whatever. All right, so we're good. So now we have our builder. Now let's use the builder to build the front end container, or front end image, I guess. Not container, image. So we want to run. I want to run the ARM one because I'm just building it for ARM for local deployment. So make. Oh, prepare. What is prepare context? What do I do for that one? Prepare context. Oh, just a cleanup. I don't need prepare context, right? That was just for my other project. Okay. So you can have these dependencies in your make file that depend on other stuff, right? So in this case, we don't care. All right. No such file directory. Okay, sweet. So now we have some bugs to fix. So looking at the command, it's coming from, oh yeah, Dockerfile here. So this thing, it should be from Dockerfile front end. So this one here. All right. Excellent. Okay. So now we have issues with the build, with the arguments. All right, let's fix them. Now, the reason I like using this is because now I can go into my Docker desktop here, and then if I can go back here, let's cancel this. So we have builds happening here, and now I can see what's happening with my builders. So, and I can sort by builders. So it's LangFlow here, it just executed, and I can get the logs of the failed build, right? And errors as well, what happened here. And it tells me, oh, what happened here? There's the error, right? So it's pretty nice, as you can see. I can see, oh, there's an issue here. This is set to, should not be blank. Why is this blank? Did I mistype this? I did see this before, but I think it's not mistyped. What the hell? What the hell? anyways, we see the issue here quite clear. This is empty. Let me double check this. Now, I like the history here as well. So what happens over time and the logs and also the information. So you can see that, how long the build take. Anyway, some metrics here. So that's nice. Metrics are always nice to have in builds, Docker builds. Okay. What the hell did I do? It should not be blank. It's not blank. Did I mistake this? What's wrong? You can't do this? You should be able to. Oh boy. I don't know. Why is this broken? Why is this broken? Let me look at my other project. Did I make the same boo-boo there? No. That's not even complaining, this one. I wrote this so many times, never can cause an issue. What's the problem? What is the problem? Line 35. Runtime is missing. Now, if this is a problem, I can pass in the build args, but I can see the default is there, but it says the default is empty. What? Why is this mocking me? Oh, hold on a second. There's a bit of a issue here with args. They have to be right. All right, here's the problem here. So this, okay. Let me see if this is happy now. Why isn't this happy now? That should make it extremely happy. Yeah, the arc should be right on the from, so then it reads it right away. Right after that, there's a little bit of kind of funny thing that happens here, but that is correct. Bloody hell. But we also have a build platform here, don't we? Where's the build platform? Here. I'm going to ignore this one for now, just for now. Yeah, arc is a funny thing, especially when you use it with from the base image, from the parent image. This should be change mode, right? So change mode. Sure.
Thank you so much for calling me back. But I think we came up with something else though.
Hold on. This is not. Also, this doesn't work. This is not supported with this show. Hold on. This is wrong. Okay, I know the thingy complained, but this is not going to work either. So let me just remove this. It's just because the pipe, the double pipe there to exit, it's not going to work with this configuration, right? So I'm just going to do just a raw command here, exit 1, exit. Okay, so this is going to be better. I know the linter's complaining, but I don't care. You're going to overwrite the linter in this case. That's Sonar Cube, right? All right, Sonar Cube can go to hell. All right, so it's still, I don't know why this is complaining here. Thinks it's blank. Right. If you define an arc before the from, it's not going to be used until it's redefined, right? So in this case, it's okay. And the problem is if I do this here, then it's going to be redefined, right? I think the linter is going to be happy. Yeah, see, I don't like that. It's just stupid. So if you don't have anything in front of it, it's a problem, right? If you do have, well, that's just annoying. Anyways, let me leave this. So I'm not a big fan of what just happened there. Well, it's not complaining now. Right, but the Docker desktop is not liking it, right? Right, the linter is happy. So this is just dumb. The linter should not be happy, and this should not be correct. Oh my god, why is this so dumb? So, yeah, the linter is saying it's good to go, but it's not good to go. Although it did work for the first one, right? Oh boy. All right, let me just look at the Docker spec again, because this is just silly. Yeah, and there we go. So there's the issue, right? Right. It's not a bug. It's a pull request. Okay, let's see. To me, it is a bug. I just don't like things to be done this way, so kind of hidden. Let me see what they did here. If they actually fixed this issue, or all right, no, they created a freaking page, so they didn't want to deal with this issue. Okay, all right. So this is what we have right now. So this is how I'm used to doing things, like so. All right. So the problem here is that it's used on the second from. Okay. So arg declare before from is outside the build stage, so it cannot be used in any instructions after from. To use the default value of arg declare before first from, use an arg instruction. Okay, so it has to be declared before the first. Oh my god. What is these arbitrary rules? Dude, seriously, man. All right, so if I'm reading this correctly, which I'm probably not, they're saying that I should be able to do this, and this should make it happy. Well, the linter's not complaining. Oh, that's just so dumb. Oh my god. All right, let's see what the build happens. Anyways, it's using the, as you can see, based on the syntax or the color coding, it's using the build kit from Docker, using the Docker build x build command, and we're building just for ARM right now. All right, let's see. Line 45. Line 45 is what this. Okay, you know what? Fine. Because it's just a stupid thing. We're just not going to have it, okay? All right, I'm just removing this. And this is going to be from source.frontend. Okay, and this is going to be the same. All right. The reason I want to use the build kit because it's a little bit more efficient. It's the multi-threading is a little bit better. The way it builds the Docker images. What else? What else? I messed up. Source package is what? What? Front end. Spelling mistake as usual. Yeah, when we look at the time, right? So it's as much, I don't say much, it's a lot faster than just regular Docker build. And you can see it's doing multiple things at the same time. Now, if you're doing this for multiple platforms, it will kick off multiple platforms at the same time as well. So that's why it's a little bit better to do. Now, we're not using this for Google build because Google can't handle this. But we're, actually they might now with Keycloak, we'll figure out in a second. But locally, this is much faster. Right, I was going to inspect this conf file. Oh boy. Excellent. What I do here. This is what? Temp operation not permitted. Change what? I'm creating it and I'm changing the mode. What? The question is, what the hell? All right. So anyways, I'll inspect the conf file in a second because I see there's some missing things in the conf file. But first, let's update. What I do here? Operation not permitted. Why isn't the operation permitted? Because I changed the user, right? So the user, yeah. So hold on, where's my user? Let's do this with root and then change the user, okay? Right. So this has to happen with root, and then after that, I change the user. You know what? Let's do it. So I define the volumes right after that. Okay. So, anyways, just a little bit cleaner. Yeah. All right. And set permissions. Cool. All right. That makes me happy. All right. And the caching is a bit better, as you can see here, right? It went straight into here. What's your problem, bro? So now that should be okay. I guess I need to change it to root. What? Let me change that to, I'm going to remove the temp directory from that. Yeah. I'm not going to set it, like the temp is fine. You know what? I'm not going to mess with this one here. So yeah, let's do this. And, let's combine this as well. So let's move this up as well. So it's all done at the same time. You want to be mindful of how many layers you have in your container, especially for these smaller containers. Hold on, there we go. Okay, sweet. So when you use Alpine, it's not happy when you have too many layers in your Docker build. It'll actually let you know, throw an exception. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. This is getting annoying. Why are you mocking me? That is correct, but it's not liking the vrun. Is that already? Hold on, let me do a little bit of ls here. Is this one you created? So let's run ls/l on this thing here. I just want to see. Now here's the problem when it comes to logging, right? If you don't set the proper logs, you won't see it. So because this kind of suppresses the logs, you can see it did execute the command here, but I don't see the output, right? So it's same thing here. So if I go back here into our builds, last build just now here, what happened, right? Look at the logs. So here we can see it. Oh, that already exists, huh? So it's root, so we can't change that. Right. Why do I need this even for Nginx? Where's my Terraform code? Is that, what the hell is it? What if here? What? I'm up both of these things here. What is my window here? Docker Nginx window, because I don't recall now. Let's see what that direct is used for. What is the var/run use in Nginx? Oh, the PID is put in there. Oh, that's the default location, but we already put the PID in. Hold on, we don't need this then. Hold on, let me just double check on the here. So the PID is set in. Where's the PID? Yeah, here in the template. It goes to, they put it here and in temp. So I'm not going to create it because it's already there. It's on the root. Let me think. Is there any security issues putting this in temp? What can happen? This is just a PID, the process ID. So it's not really secure. If I'm running the container, I can always do PS and find the process ID. So it's not a big deal. So yeah, I don't need that. Yeah, let me remove that. So yeah, all right, this is gone. This is gone. At least we have a reason for the other two. This is gone. Okay, cool. Let's run this. All right, cool. So that worked. Let's do Docker Scout quick view as well. So with my Docker freaking ID, obviously. Where's the Docker? Let me see the Docker images here. Okay, cool. Let's grab the AD just in case. Oh, I don't have it logged in right now. Okay, shut up. Okay, I'm not gonna do it right now. Okay, I'll do it with Google Tools, man. Sure, like whatever, clear. All right, so we have Docker images. We have a build here. There we go. Should we? And there's the tag of the version. Again, we're not going to use this in our cloud build. So let's run this. Let's run this and see if there's any issues here. So I'm going to start. Oh, it's already started. So I already have this running on localhost, the backend URL. So the only thing I need here is docker run dash. I don't know. Let's go p. I don't know. Just do like 8090 or something. 8090. 8989, sorry, 8099, 8989 to 8080 within the container. That's the front container. And then, let's grab the name, right? What else do we want to do? -d, let's run this in the daemon mode. -d, and then also I want to do what? What I want to do here? Oh, environment variable. Sorry, env. So that's the variable we need for the backend. So where's the backend variable? Yeah, we're going to use just the local host because it's only running in our. Okay, so backend URL. So backend URL equals to this. All right. Should I put this in quotes? I think so. All right, so this is like the basic thing, and this should just start the Nginx. Okay, let's run this. And we need the tag as well. All right, let's inspect this thing here. Let's see if it's actually running. See, there's a health thing that we added, so you can see that's the purpose over here. We can see if the container is healthy or not. It's going to go through its stages. And let's open up Chrome tab somewhere so we can. This is going to be not 3000, but 8989. Could not load from there. Okay, but at least, okay. At least the application is loading. Let me see the image here. So there's some image issues here. Let's have a look at the Docker container right now, see if, let's look at the logs. Is it still starting? Right, so it should not be in a starting state to health. It should be already healthy. So this is first thing to look at here. All right, let's have a peek at the Docker logs and see what's happening. All right, so we can see that it's getting the requests, so that's good. Connection refused. What's happening here? That's on the upstream. Okay. Yeah. So localhost is not going to work because we're in Docker container, right? So that it thinks it's the local host of the container. All right. So that's a bad variable to pass in. Okay. All right. Let's stop this. At least it's running the application. That's good. But anyways, let's kill this. So let's stop this. Actually, just remove it as well. I'm going to run it again. Now, the thing I want to change here is now the backend, right? How can we do this right now? I can use the IP of the computer or I can use the internal. Oh boy. I think the last thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to test this. But first, I got to figure out what is the right URL to pass. So localhost obviously is locally to my host machines, not the Docker container. It has its own local host. So what can I do here? Yeah, we're gonna go for a walk soon. Yeah, we're going. We're going. Just give me a minute, bro. Give me a minute. We're going for a walk. Okay. So we can use the internal what the hell's it called? Docker thingy, right? So the Docker host, right? So we can go host, right? Host.docker. Internal and no, okay. And that's the port we want this. Okay, cool. So let me see if that's the right one. I'm just going to grab these Docker logs here. And we can go is it -F? To follow these logs. All right, cool. So let's keep this on the screen. All right. Let's see if this is working. All right, sweet. All right, so we're going through our Docker container into our backend API. Okay, so that's right. I don't see any issues here. It's cool. And we're using a different container. We're using Alpine instead of the other one. Okay, I'm happy with this. Let me do a login actually with the SSO. Oh yeah, okay. So the login is not going to work because it's going to different port. Anyways, because the backend, say the callback URL and Keycloak has to match. All right. Besides that, it's working. Okay, sweet. So we're good. So let me see if I need to put some comments on this specific container here. Sorry, Dockerfile. Before I start pushing this, I haven't actually updated my cloud build yet. That needs to be updated, but I'm gonna end it here. All these substitutions, they're gonna go away. No substitutions here. Okay. And yes, we have a special pool, a builder pool in our Docker cloud build where we build this a private pool. So it's in this location. Go hack it if you can. It's your new honeypot. Go crazy. See if you can hack it. I'm not advising it. Anyways, so that's good. I'm gonna leave this for later. All right, let me see if I need to add any oh yeah, so yeah, I was going to analyze the conf file here, right? So I had problems here. So let's look at the template here. All right. So let me close this first and then look at the PS. I want to see if the health check is working. because I think, yeah, unhealthy. Yeah. This health check is pointless right now at this point, because you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to remove the health check. There's no value to it right now, since we're going to override it with our Kubernetes, whatchamacallit, liveness probes. Okay. All right. So as the last thing, I want to analyze this thing here in detail because there's things are just missing here. Let me open up the docs so I can have the reference. Where's my docs? All right. Let's see if this is good for prod. Okay, auto good, PID is fine. What else do we have here? We have basic defaults here. Right, so we don't care about TLS in this specific case because it's the SSL termination happens on the ingress, not with this container. We don't have logs enabled here, so the log format is kind of garbage, as you can see here. So that's going to be difficult for us to inspect in Kubernetes. In fact, let me have a peek. Where's my Kubernetes window? Here. So let's see if those logs are reasonable. So here, if you go and look at the logs quickly, let me just refresh this. Let's look at the logs again. Right. Let's have a peek. Let's see if we can make these maybe a little bit more beautiful. The best logs ever. Scroll to the top. Why isn't it at the top? Dude, seriously. Why is this at the top? Go to the top. What's up, Google? Okay. So let me look at this. Right. So I always like to control the logs so I can pick them up with a scraper and then parse them into correctly for Grafana logs. So for Nginx logs, I can then already have these dashboards done, but they require a specific type of format. Okay. So yeah, so I'll do that. So let me. What about errors? So yeah, so logs is the only thing that keeps that that is a problem for me. I don't see zip might be an issue. Gzip. Some browsers don't support gzip. We don't care right now. Right. So the logging is the only thing that is a problem. Okay. So the log format, where's the log format? Okay, so I'll add a log format here next time I'm here. And I'm still not sure about the security part here for the PID. I don't like to put temporary files in, PID files in temporary locations. Let me see what the Nginx people think about this. Yeah, they don't like. Yeah, they don't like to have it there, so they like to put it in the run directory, the PID file, not in temp directory. Right. Okay. You know what? I'll leave it for now. So one thing I can do right now, so I can leave myself a note, is let me grab the optimizations for send file first of all. So let me grab that directly from the doc. So let me put this here. So let's have this there. Okay. That's how it helps. And also I want to do what? The other thing we want to do is logs. So let me grab the logs. So here, I'm going to put logs below this, access logs. And no, that's not correct. So no, I don't want this. I want, oh boy, I want to do what? I want to format the logs, not set the location of the logs. Where's the format? The log formatter. All right, so yeah, so this is going to Docker logs, so we don't care about this. Now, what we care about is really the format. So, and I like to make this configurable usually. I'm just going to grab the standard one that's in the doc here. This is just a mental note for myself to optimize this. So, log format. Now, this one, I want to make this configurable so I can pass in as a property of in Kubernetes, because then we can, again, also it's going to be a JSON object as well. So right now, is it a JSON object? I don't think it's a JSON object either. Right, it's better to have JSON objects here. As you can see, all the logs that usually process with different tools like Loki, and they do better with JSON objects, right? So we'll make this a JSON object. So it's not going to be a text payload here. It's going to be a JSON payload, so we can parse it better. And where else? Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. They also suggest that gzip types need to be updated. So these are all production level improvements. So for gzip, where's my gzip here? So the suggestion is, first of all, that we can pull this out of the server block and have it only on the HTTP block. It doesn't have to be there. So this is gonna, yeah, let's just go make this here. And the other thing, the suggestion is to define the types. So then, where's the types? All right, here. So types. Here's the types. So we have some of the types, but not all the types. All right. Okay. Okay. So this is just a mental note for myself. GZip version 1.1. No, we can leave this here. That's fine. Yeah, server name. Let's just put the server name here as well. Okay. Sweet. All right, all the other ones I'm going to leave as is. No, actually, I'll come back and adjust these proxies. These proxies need to be a little bit more. So I'll enable buffering on the API proxy just for performance, and adjust the proxy parameters to be HTTP 1.1 because it's not adjusted right now, right? There's no proxy here. Okay. So two mental notes: fix the log format, make this configure. So have a default, so we can pass this in as a variable, build our argument, or environment variable, both of these things. So then we can match what we have in our scraper when we scrape the logs, with Loki, and we can display in Grafana. So when we go back into Grafana, where's my Grafana? And we look at our dashboards here. So for Nginx, where's Nginx? Here. Right, we want to just match, repurpose this. So this is just a the Nginx controller that we have, but we want to use similar dashboard for that specific Nginx, so we can actually know what's happening in the front end, to get a little bit of feedback from locations. Anyways, I'll end it here, come back and finish that off, and then start working on the backend Dockerfile, because that one needs a lot more loving. Anyways,